I'm Usha Haley. I'm the W. Frank Barton Distinguished Chair in International Business at Wichita State University. I've taught at a range of universities, and this publication and getting into the media is not new for me. I have been surprised by how much it has accelerated after coming here. And I attribute that to research that I do that has relevance to the outside world. And it doesn't mean that the research is bad just because the outside world is interested in it, which is some of the attitudes that we bring, but rather that they would then support it, that they understand what we're doing as academics. And so I try both. It's a difficult balancing act, but I publish in the major academic journals. I publish scholarly books for outlets such as the Oxford University Press or Cambridge University Press, but I also speak to the media about my research. And as you pointed out, students love it. They like to know that their professor at Wichita State is in the Wall Street Journal or the Financial Times, and that what she's saying in class is relevant to the outside world, not just Wichita and Kansas, so that is important, but rather also to the international community. Those were very influential works of research that George Haley, my spouse, and I did. I think one of the big benefits is that we stayed married after that. However, that's another story. But what we did, and this is how we feed our research as well. We got a call from a government officer, fairly senior, and said, "Usha, we really can't make sense of what's going on in China. We can't understand why, despite all the productivity gains in our country, the Chinese keep beating us on price. Can you explain? We think it's subsidies, but we're not sure." And I knew immediately that this was going to be a really important topic. I didn't know how important, because subsidies is a really arcane topic in international research, international business. But I thought it was going to be important. And I confidently said, "We'll get you those figures in 3 months." It took us 1 year. But what did happen was we started giving all kinds of talks to the Congress, etc., US Congress, about why this research was important and how it had shaped our industry. We wrote an article in HBR, George and I, on how Chinese subsidies changed the world. And that really is not an understatement. Entire industries were wiped out, etc. And the work itself was made into federal regulation in the United States, but also in the EU and Germany. That is one example. Currently, I'm working on how technology is being shaped by foreign direct investment, especially by state capitalist regimes who have different goals than us. So yeah, I expect that to also get attention, because again, it was informed by correspondence with industry and government, and then we had a lot of leeway to just pursue it in an academic fashion. I teach at all levels. I have taught at the executive MBA level across the world, really, top universities. And I teach at Wichita State at the graduate level and the undergraduate level. And I have found that students respond to my beginning a lecture. I'm in the media like 4 or 5 times a week, really, at this point. But this is what we're discussing in class, and this is what the world is interested in. And they love it, because they don't want to waste their time either. These people are busy, and they want to know what nuggets they can take back to their boardrooms or to their parents. And so I do enjoy the synergy. It's not for everyone, but I have found my niche in that. A long time ago, in a previous life, I used to be a graduate student in journalism at UW-Madison. I have 3 master's degrees and a double PhD, so it's not something that's been recent. But I remember my journalism professor at UW-Madison saying, "Usha, lead with man bites dog. 4th page, Russia bombs China." That has changed. Even local newspapers lead with some news of China or Russia, etc. It's really important that we understand what's going on outside. Otherwise, we live in this two-dimensional world that we don't know what the circumstances are around, and so I do try to communicate that to my students. Don't just understand business and accounting or finance, although those are very important subjects. Understand history, philosophy, the linkages that go on, how people make decisions. They don't necessarily make decisions like we do. It's important, though, to understand. So those are the sort of things that I try to communicate in class. The advice I would give Barton students as related to international business is network. Understand that AI cannot replace people. Those ideas, those creative ideas that emanate from you come through knowing people, not just through studying and being in the classroom. Also work on projects, anything that your professor offers you, but elsewhere as well.